Marzipan is a character that I want to say has been around since my high school days, 10th grade, I think. I had a bad habit of not dating a lot of my creations at the time. She was one of the first characters created for Hebridean, and she came about right around the time that Sony dropped Dark Cloud for the PS4. It sparked my interest in the game again, and I started replaying it on an emulator. It was clearly a cash grab, but it still sparked nostalgia in me that I had for the title. I started wishing for a Dark Cloud 3, anything that was a continuation of the game that I knew I wouldn't get because Sony has ignored Dark Cloud as an IP for years, so I figured the only thing to do was to make one myself. Thus, Hebridean was born. Not just a spiritual successor to the game, but continuing its story, world, and characters in my own vision. It's an homage, a love letter, a respectable creation heavily inspired by a game I love to this day. I thought it would be interesting to explore the character designs of the show. If there's one thing I love, it's character designs, and I love talking about them. Now, while I'm not a professional character designer in the sense that I have a degree in it, it's still very much something I'm knowledgeable about. Designing characters is something I've been doing for a while, and I'd love to break down some of the designs for the characters of my indie series. I want to provide a bit more lore to those interested. I'm trying some different video ideas out to see how well they're received, and I'll look into doing more. Now, let's take a look at Marzipan the Queen in pink. Marzipan is the current queen of Yellow Terra and the leader of Hebridean, though you wouldn't think it simply by looking at her. No crown, cape, or scepter in sight, an intentional choice to avoid a stereotypical royal look, but she's also a reluctant royal, so I don't see her walking around in a tiara, much less fighting in one. She keeps her hero life and her royal life separate. Rather, her royal theme is brought out through her golden accessories and vibrant green gems. She looks fanciful, clearly appearing as if she comes from a background of wealth and prestige. Marzipan is based on Ruby, the genie from Dark Cloud. There's noticeable similarities with their body shape, magical abilities, color scheme, hairstyle, accessories, and even the fact that they are both powerful magical women married to kings. Marzipan shares a Middle Eastern or North African ethnicity of Ruby with a splash of Italian. Her alias Marzipan is an Italian dessert made from almonds. In literature, it was a magical dessert, but has important meaning to her character and sweet personality. Often stressed from her responsibilities, Marzipan was a favorite dessert given to her by Deckard when the two were children. It was a great source of comfort for the two of them that they often shared together. Marzipan even borrows the same flower pattern from Ruby's white pants. It always looked like a pink tulip to me. A pink tulip I changed to match her pink color and Deckard's green color. I wanted Marzipan to be a subtle enough reference to Ruby, but still stand as her own unique character and design. Marzipan is married to King Deckard, and their connection through their designs is nuanced but clear. Guess who gave her all those green jewels? That's right, Deckard did. Marzipan is a worrywart and under a lot of pressure from going from a regular girl treated with world fascination because of her unnatural hair color to becoming the queen of a new world and a universal goddess. Her design is symmetrical in every way until you see the cowlick at the top of her head, implying she isn't as put together as you might think. The braid itself is long and pink, which also happens to be her favorite color. Ruby has a similar braid, but Marzipan's braid also references Monica's hair from Dark Chronicle. Pink hair implies her magical, ethereal nature, as she is the literal anchor to which all magic within the universe flows through. Pink is also the signature color we think of when we hear bubblegum, and Marzipan loves bubblegum. All that pink is then broken up with black, the color representing the Hebridean black sheep, with her being the first documented case. As an archer and a long-ranged fighter, she has the luxury of dressing more so for fashion than function. No armor for her, especially when she can use her bubble bow to snipe enemies down or push back enemies with her bubble shield. Speaking of bubbles, she has a clear bubble theme. Look at her shape language. Ever wonder why she's so circular? In character designs, characters with circular-shaped bodies imply things such as innocence, friendliness, a hero, or even a non-threatening individual. Circular shapes are also present on her gems, the golden ringlets on her legs and hanging fabric. Marzipan is also a protector, hence her bubble shield, and looking back at Dark Cloud, what important circular items play a major role in shielding and protecting those from harm and dark forces? If you said Atla, you're correct. Marzipan's bubbles are upgraded versions of Atla but changed so she can use them to protect herself and others, but also allow one to view what's inside the Atla bubbles before it's opened. Much like in the Dark Cloud game, Marzipan does have an Atlamilia stone, the green gem embedded into the golden arm guard on her left arm. With it, only she can pop her bubbles. I wanted her bubble theme to be unmistakable and strong. Even her bubble bow and arrow is designed after a bubble blower. As an archer, Marzipan's design is sleek, nothing to get in the way of her legs or arms. She is rather plump, an interesting design choice I went through with because if you think about it, you never really see too many plus-sized archers. They are always very skinny and agile, easily flipping in the air. Think Legolas from Lord of the Rings. While she may not be the most agile, she does use her weight to her advantage in combat situations, and her spellbook can be used to back her up in a fight or even allow her to take to the sky to rain havoc on unlucky opponents. Marzipan is Moroccan, one of many cultures where women and girls dabble in henna tattoos as a way of self-expression and as an art form. Marzipan has henna tattoos on both her arms, depicting a version of her husband's family crest, which is a pink tulip. The sleeves are made transparent so that the tattoos are visible, but also reminds you of the transparency of a bubble. I wanted to show that Marzipan is always including her husband into her design in some way because they are equals and greatly connected to one another, but without having his signature green color overwhelm her own pink design. Look closer and you can see green eyeshadow and little green gems on the gold wedding ring on her right hand, all of which represent King Deckard. There are some things I didn't mention, but I don't want to give everything away. What's the fun in that? As my audience, you guys are clever and I know you'll piece things together yourself. I'd love to know what you think of the design and if you have other thoughts about my creative intention with it. Feel free to comment below. If you like this content, consider supporting me and the channel. I'll leave you with a bit of character trivia. Marzipan in general is heavily based off a particular type of player when it comes to video games. She represents players more interested in a game's lore.